All right, everybody, welcome. Welcome to our August Westbank Real Estate Investors Meetup. Super excited about the guests we have tonight. I'm glad to see everybody here right now, matter of fact. I want to introduce, before I say his name, I heard a lot about you already.
Thank you.
So far, let's go down the checklist. So this guy, real estate entrepreneur, kicked the W-2 to the curb, construction, and also is building a very valuable following on social media right now. So tonight what we want to get into is what the mindset is of walking away from that W-2 job. We want to get into the mindset of what it looks like to build a successful wholesaling organization. We want to get into exactly what it feels like on a day-to-day being an entrepreneur full-time. And also we want to get your take on what the market is right now and what's your take on it being in the trenches. So right now I want everybody to put their hands together because it's the first time here ever for O'Neal Parker.
Appreciate it.
All right, man, this is a question we start off with everybody, man. So first of all, before we get into the story, how did you even get into the real estate business?
Good question. So I grew up around real estate. My dad is an entrepreneur in Lafayette, Louisiana, the only African-American man to ever own a building downtown Lafayette. So I grew up around big buildings, bank buildings, apartment buildings. So around the age 12, I knew I wanted to do real estate. I thought I wanted to be a real estate agent because I thought a real estate agent buy properties and rent them out. But then growing up, I understood that a real estate agent is not. Then they don't buy properties.
Yeah.
So growing up, school, relationships, you don't think about that. So went to college because I played football. Played football at UL, and then I broke my leg in 2013. After that, I was like, not my thing. So I'm not going to continue playing football because I'm not going to the NFL. I'm not making no money from it. So transferred all my credits to community college, graduated, and then I got a job. When I got a job, I was making about $65,000 a year. I was like, that's not enough money. And then I started Googling how to make more money, side jobs. Real estate popped up, and then I took off after that. Watched YouTube videos, and then I got started.
What year we talking?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started watching YouTube videos. I read my first book from cover to cover at the age 23.
Which was?
How to Get Rich in Real Estate, I think, or something. It's by Phil Pustiaski. I forgot the name of it.
Okay.
But that was the first book I read, and then I started real estate business. Started with wholesaling. Started with $63. Had more money, but everything you watch say you don't need no money, no credit. Got into wholesaling. Started with 63, made 2,000 my first 3 weeks, 50,000 my first 4 months, 182,000 strictly wholesaling. I bought 13 rentals my first year. Did my first flip, my bird deal, got 42,000 business credit in my first year as well.
But you're going too fast, so I won't get into the $63 right now.
Yeah.
So what did you do with that $63, for the person? Because I can tell you right now on YouTube, they say $0. I started with $2, made $2 million, whatever. $63, what did that breakdown look like for you to get to that next $2,000?
So the $63, I bought 50 blank banner signs off Amazon.
All right.
A fat marker.
All right.
It started we buy houses and started putting them out. That's where the $63 went.
Okay.
And then people started calling. And then I just made it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I figured out along the way. I never had mentors or nothing, just straight YouTube and books.
So that first transaction, walk us through that. You still working? So that $63, that's money you found in the car seat under the seat.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But you still working. So walk us through while you still working, what that first deal looked like.
So that first deal put out banner signs all over Baton Rouge. I was living at Baton Rouge at the time. People started calling. I really didn't know what to do, so I got back on YouTube once people called what to do.
That's good.
I was scared, sweating like I am right now, walking around the house, didn't know what to say on the phone, but I still made it happen because I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But the house was flooded. That was around the big flood they had in 2016. So I went to the house, act like I knew what I was doing, really didn't, and I put under contract. I put under contract for $70,000. Then I started marketing. I started marketing at an event just like this, The Ring with Richard McCray. It's no longer available, but I started marketing it, and then somebody offered me $72,000.
Okay.
He brought the bank statements. So I was like, all right, but I learned from that because that was the first offer I had. The next day, somebody offered me $80,000.
Ah,
But I'm a man of my word, so I stuck
Right.
with the 72. Most people would be like,
Take the 80.
yeah, but while you taking the 80, you're ruining relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck to my word and just made the 2,000.
So you still working? What when we get to the point to where we about to quit? What led you to start thinking about
Gotcha.
what's the next steps?
So for me, when I got into real estate, I didn't want to wholesale.
Mm.
But every video you watch is like, start wholesaling, start wholesaling. So when I got in the game, I knew I wanted to make, I knew all my expenses, but my expenses at the time was like 2,800, something like that.
You talking about living expenses?
Yeah,
Business.
yeah,
Okay.
because, I had a house. I didn't have car notes or nothing, but life insurance, things like that. So all my expenses were like 2,800. So my first goal was to make 3,000 a month, passively. I'm talking about rentals, not wholesale.
Mm.
And then I made that quick. So then I wanted to make 10,000. Once I made 10,000, I was still cool, but my job is super easy. So I was like, there's no reason for me to quit.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy. I was working 4 days a week. I think by the time I quit, I was making over 100,000. So I was like, I'm running my business while I'm working.
All right.
So I'm working more in real estate than I am on my job, and I'm still getting paid. So I was like, I'm comfortable, So I was like, ain't no reason for me to quit. Had 3 kids at the time, so I was thinking about insurance, just making up reasons to stay when I really didn't have to. And then in 2020, I was like, 3 months before I quit, I was like, if they tell me something crazy, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
They told me something crazy and I quit.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. But the goal is you got to focus on getting income, passive income, residual income, and not just wholesaling, because you got to be real. Wholesaling, you're not going to make the same amount of money every month. It's going to get slow. Like it got slow for us probably like 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
If your business is not at that level, then I don't advise people quitting. Also, another thing, before you quit, it's important to build as many relationships with small banks as possible. You need to get loans with them, because if you build relationships with them, they're not going to continue asking for all your documents. They're not going to continue asking for your W-2s, all the things. So if you build relationships with them, buy houses, they're only going to ask you for your updated personal financial statement once a year. And they may ask you for a tax return every year. So if you build relationships with them up front, while you have a job, it's a lot easier to get funding. It's harder to get funding once you're a full-time entrepreneur, because the income isn't consistent.
Yeah.
So that's all the things I did before I quit.
So knowing what you know now, if you had to build an exit ramp for you to quit successfully, what does the exit ramp look like for somebody to leave their W-2 and move into wholesaling full-time? And if anybody got a paper towel, bring us.
Yeah, I need that. I'm hot.
See the bullets.
So,
sliding.
like I said before, focus on building passive income instead of just wholesaling and flipping. Because just like the market changed right now, just because you bought a house at a deep discount and you put it on the market don't mean it's going to sell.
Okay.
So I really tell people to focus on multiple things. Number one, you got to learn how to find your own deals. Stop relying on other wholesalers.
Yeah.
Because if you find your own deals, you make more money.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
Take your time, Pastor. Sweat.
Yeah, so I tell everybody you got to find your own deals. It's too many times people rely on other people to find deals for them. They rely on a real estate agent. They rely on wholesalers. If you know how to find your own deals, you make more money. Like I did a flip last year, sold it for $175,000, made $100,000. Most people can't do that because they don't know how to find their own deals.
Right.
Most people pay wholesalers $10,000 to $30,000 to find a deal.
Yeah.
Most people rely on realtors to find them a deal. 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna be a deal.
It was on MLS.
Because realtors don't know what a deal is. They're not investors. Most realtors don't own houses.
Some realtors. I'm a realtor.
But majority of them don't own their own house or they don't own rentals. So I always tell people you got to learn how to analyze a property. You got to learn how to do deals yourself instead of relying on other people, because at the end of the day, you're buying the property.
Yeah.
As a realtor, their job is to sell your house to make commission.
Yeah.
For you, it's to buy a deal that makes sense. So if you don't have the confidence to run your own deals, then you're not ready to get in this game.
Yeah. So walk us through next steps. So we got passive income enough to quit. How do we get traction as far as the wholesaling business to make it somewhat predictable for you to maintain, your lifestyle?
Gotcha. So I don't rely on my life on wholesaling.
Okay.
I built it around passive income because I know I'm getting paid every month.
Okay.
The wholesaling is just extra money to buy my rentals.
Okay.
So my first 4 months, I closed 17 deals wholesale.
Okay.
So I think in any business, you got to focus on the problem. 2016, everybody became a wholesaler, but nobody had buyers. So I focused on getting buyers. So everybody had deals, nobody had buyers, so I just JV'd the deals. What was your question?
The question was, the question was, how did you build your business to be as predictable as possible
I got you,
for
got
you to maintain being full-time entrepreneur?
Got you. So
Yeah.
focused on building as much rentals as possible, and then also wholesaling deals that I don't want.
Okay.
With wholesaling, you got to market as much as possible. You got to have different marketing strategies. You got to cold call. You got to text. You got to shoot RVMs. You got to door knock. Do what you got to do to keep leads coming in. I notice a lot of things, a lot of people in business, wholesaling, etc. I mean, in general, let's just say they close a $15,000 deal. 10,000 going to them, 3,000 going to their business.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they do with the 2,000.
Yeah.
So instead of spending the money on yourself, put it all back into your business so it keeps on turning. If you understand your market, you understand the KPIs, key performance indicators, what people are targeting, more people are answering the phone rather than texting, well, stop texting and start calling.
Yeah.
So you got to know where the leads are coming in. And once you know that, you double down on that. You don't just market just to market. To say you're marketing, you got to understand the marketing that you're doing. And once you understand that, that's how you can continuously make more money.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. So with marketing, you got to know what you're doing, and the only way to find out what you're doing is
Just
research.
understand what you're doing.
Right. So what's your technique or your approach to research? Because you're in a couple of different markets. So from day one, what does research look like for you to even figure out where to start shooting first?
Gotcha. So all markets are different. Like for us, we do business in New Orleans. I always tell my people that pull the list and everything, do not pull lists in the city of New Orleans. For us, because I don't understand the city of New Orleans market.
What you mean?
You can have one street, the house is worth $300,000. Across the street, they worth $120.
Yeah.
Down the street, they maybe worth $600. So it's too unpredictable for me. I don't understand it, and I'm not really trying to understand it right now because I could just go on the Westbank on this side.
I like that.
Most numbers are predictable.
Yeah.
You know, the street gonna be everything will be 200 to 250. You
Right.
know, so you don't just go where other people going. You go where it makes sense for you. If you're looking to make 10 to 15,000 on a deal, you have to look at what markets are doing that. And how you do that is there's a couple of different ways to do that. You can go to groups like this, ask other wholesalers what markets they're in. You can look on PropStream, see what they're buying the properties at, and you can talk to cash buyers in the area, see what they're buying properties at as well. But the only way you really know how to do that is you got to communicate with other people and network. That's the only way.
Yeah.
And once you talk to enough cash buyers, you start going in those markets. You don't just go in a random market and start thinking you're going to make money.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to buy in that market. You got to see if they actually have traction in that market. Are they buying rentals or are they buying flips? Every market not the same.
Okay.
And that's how you do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So for the person that says, I'm shy, I don't really like talking to people.
That's
I don't
me.
like going.
I'm that person.
Okay, so what does the conversation look like for
gotta
somebody
do it.
like you with a cash buyer
right now,
to get that type of info? That's from the lights, man. That's from the lights.
Nah.
But a conversation with a cash buyer to get that type of intelligence for those research purposes. So you just walk up to them and say, "What?"
No. So you got to be confident in what you're doing.
Okay.
I see that. I notice a lot of people do that. They're not really confident or have education. Like a lot of people don't use Google.
Yeah.
You asking dumb questions. What's ARV? How about you Google it first?
Yeah.
So you want to at least come educated. Say, hey, I've been trying to study real estate for the last 3 months. I want to take it serious. What kind of advice do you have for me? Or how could I add value to you? If you bought houses the last 3 months, do you need house cleaning? Do you need help cleaning them up? How could I help you? How could I service you? Once you start doing that, people going to take you in. They're going to just give you the game.
Yeah.
But you got to add some type of value.
That's good.
Do something, you know. Don't just ask questions, just taking value instead of giving value. Most people just take, and never give. If you have nothing to give, I'm sure you got time.
Yeah.
If you got time, you can come to my house, help me out, clean it out, or, manage a crew to clean it.
Yeah.
If it costs me $2,000 to clean out a house and you could do it for $500, put your crew together and go clean it for $500. That's when the cash buyer or investor going to find you valuable, more valuable than you are by just asking questions.
Yeah.
But most people don't do that.
Okay. Well, we will from now on. So moving back to, you full-time W-2, you built up this fortress of, rental properties, wholesaling on top of that. Leaving your W-2 sounds good, on YouTube. Talk to us about some of the emotions you go through when there's the gap of you cut off this consistent income, now there's this middle, ugly, disgusting piece where money can be slower, expenses are high. Describe some of those feelings. What does that gap feel like? And, what did it feel like for you?
Well, for me, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It was all right because I prepared before.
Okay.
I would say before you even quit, have a plan. But things that happen in entrepreneurship, everything on you.
Mhm.
You might have good weeks, bad weeks. You might have bad months, slow months, fast months. But it's important to prepare yourself for always late. I always prepare myself for later, not today.
Mhm.
Let's just say you get a big check, don't spend it all.
Mhm.
You know, you got to think about 6 months from now, I may not have no income.
Yeah.
If you wholesaling, you may not close no deals, or your deals may fall apart. Like we all know that happen all the time. You spent the money in your head, but they be like, nah, the deal
It
don't
ain't
work
closing.
no more. It got too many title issues, etc. So,
Yeah.
the money that you do make, just make sure you put it back in your business and market as much as possible, and be
Mhm.
consistent with the marketing. Don't live it up too fast. Don't spend the money too fast, and just try to buy as many rentals as possible.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta say.
Heard that.
Yeah.
So we're building up a business that's becoming more predictable. We building a team out at this point. What is it? What is the
Yeah.
team? So what your team look like?
Before I quit, or after.
Both.
So before I quit, I got a partner in 2019. I quit my job 2020. So I had the feeling like I was about to quit. So I asked somebody if he would be partner with me because he was like he had more time than me. I had a lot of knowledge. He had the time. So we became partners in 2000. At the end of 2019, officially became partners February 2020. So at that time, it was me, him, and we hired 3 people: lead manager, disposition, and acquisitions.
Okay.
So at that time, it was 5. I quit in 2020. Was it 9 months later after we became partners? Then we had maybe 5 people total.
Mhm.
So we had at that time we was both acquisitions
Okay.
because we had people on the phones all day. We got acquisitions, dispositions, and lead. So we was doing all the deals. Like while I was at work, I was cold calling people. I think with the last deal I left before I quit was 20,000 just by calling the old list that I had from 2017. So at that time it was 5 people. Then when I quit, we got to 13, and then we downsized. So now we got currently is 5. We're back to 5.
These virtual or these domestic
Yeah.
in-house
All
bodies?
virtual.
Okay.
Yeah, all virtual. Right now
Okay.
we have myself, my partner, his mom, and then 2 virtual people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we make it happen.
Good
Seem
stuff.
like the less people we have, the more money we make.
Well, that's running lean, is what I hear.
Right.
Right. So with the team in place, you got to feed the beast. So what does marketing look like for a wholesale business that size? What channels you running? And if you have an idea of your KPIs, bring us in on like what the volume needs to look like for something to keep running that smooth.
Got you. So for us, we're doing mainly cold calling and text message.
Okay.
We notice we're getting a lot of replies from text, and then of course cold calling doesn't work. So for us, we're probably sending out text maybe 15,000 a month.
Okay.
15,000 a month. How many? We got maybe 20 contracts this month.
Okay.
Let's see. How many texts we send? 15,000. I'm not on that side of the business, but
I got
I'm
you.
trying to remember. Within the 15,000, of course, some people don't text back. Some people not interested. I don't know. Cold calling, we do probably 10,000 records a
Okay.
month. So with that, we get most of our leads from text, but we also get a lot from cold calling as well.
Good stuff.
That's about all the numbers I know, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's good enough. I mean, for that type of operation, you're gonna need a lot of leads
sure.
coming in. Yeah. So, what markets you in right now, and how did you choose them? I know you touched on research, but what markets are you in right now, and why you picked them?
Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and
Okay.
then we also in Tennessee, in and out of Tennessee.
Okay.
Lafayette, of course, I'm from there. Baton Rouge is a better wholesaling market. The wholesale fees are bigger. In New Orleans, they buy a lot faster than both Baton
Yeah.
Rouge and Lafayette.
Uh-huh.
Baton Rouge is Lafayette is mainly a rental market.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say nobody have money there, but mostly everybody get financing. So
Yeah.
your wholesale fees come in 30 to 45 days. Baton Rouge, you got a lot of cash buyers. In New Orleans, they buy within a week.
Yeah.
So you got to pick your poison. You got to know that information. So a lot of in Lafayette, we sell a lot there, but like I said, it's mostly rentals. Baton Rouge, we do flips and rentals, but our biggest checks usually come out of New Orleans.
Yeah. So that was 2016. Fast forward now in 2023, we have this team. We have leads. what type of difference are you seeing in the market in 2023 that you haven't seen since you got started? What's different?
As in what? Wholesale, rentals, flips?
Yeah, we're gonna stick with wholesale right now.
Wholesaling is not as quick as it was. A lot of people are really doing their due diligence.
Yeah.
They're really digging down in the numbers because, in 2020, they were just buying.
Right.
It didn't, they didn't really look at the numbers like that. It makes sense. A lot of the bigger buyers are not buying as much as they was. But some people that, like the older investors that have been in the game a while, they still buying. Because a lot of, if you've really been in the game a while, investors really don't care about interest rates. A lot of the new investors care about interest rates.
Yeah.
That's really about it. But as investors, it's important we educate people as well and let them know the numbers that we see. So most of the deals that we do, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a lot of deals that I buy, I put it out there, nobody buy it, and I buy it.
Right.
And it makes sense. And then they turn around later and be like, I should have bought it. Well, it's too late.
Yeah.
So like the first one I ever bought, I was marketing it for 28 days, nobody wanted it. I bought it at 56,000, appraised at 100.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you buy it?
Yeah.
And
which market was that?
That was in Lafayette.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the main thing. A lot of people are not buying as fast as they was before.
Okay. And I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of wholesalers, which is a good thing, can transition more fast than in the past to become a buyer with so many financing options. So now with you being full-time for this amount of time, what does financing look like for you to buy and renovate for your buying?
I do a lot of private money, hard money. I do some local banks as well, but mainly just hard money and private. Because I try to close as fast as possible, and I don't want to go through all that stuff with the bank all the time.
Understand? Yeah.
Yeah. But private money for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, good thing is we sponsored by Vertical Capital, which is private money and hard money. So as far as the different markets that you're in, when you pick as far as rentals, what are the top metrics that you're looking at for rental property? So for flips, I can understand it's capital gains, but certain markets have different numbers, as you explained. Right. So now when you're buying rentals, looking at it with a wholesaler lens and a landlord lens, what's the most important numbers on a rental side?
Rentals, when I first started, my cash flow I wanted to be around 300 to 350. Now it's around 500.
Okay.
So I'm trying to make 500. I like C-class neighborhoods. That's really about it. But I look at rentals different ways. I look at appreciation. If it's not really appreciation, like it's in a lower end neighborhood, I'm not gonna keep it as a rental. I'm gonna sell it on terms.
Okay.
The reason being because it's not going up in value.
And what's selling on terms?
So let's just say I buy it with a mortgage or whatever for 20-year mortgage. I sell it to somebody that can't get financing, somebody that wants to own their own home. Depending on the price of the property, I get $5,000 to $20,000 down payment, and they pay me a certain amount, like let's just say $1,500 for the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them an opportunity to buy a house, not going through a bank. I'm just become the bank in that situation.
I'm glad you said that. So for the person that says, I don't never want to sell my property, what do you say to that argument? Because if I do a lease option, eventually they'll refinance me. Is that something that's important to you, or you build a technique to where they won't take that property out of your portfolio?
I'm not really tripping because I'm always buying houses.
Yeah.
So if they take it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like I said, the only properties I do that to is the properties that I don't care about. Like the properties that's not going up in value. Like the properties that's in the worst neighborhoods.
Yeah. Because
the worst neighborhoods, at the end of the day, they do make the most cash flow. So how I mitigate not fixing all the repairs, not getting the calls, they shoot the house, it's not on me. I just sell it on terms to somebody that want to be in that neighborhood. Collect $5,000 to $10,000 down or 15, still making $500 to $600, $800 a month cash flow.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, if I sell it to them anyway, they're not gonna pay it out.
Right.
So I'm gonna just do it all over again.
Yeah.
Like I buy houses, don't touch them when I sell them. I don't rehab nothing. Yeah. Just sell them like that.
So, with that being said, what does the O'Neal Parker in 2023 tell 2016 O'Neal Parker? After everything we went through that you learned in those experiences, what's the advice of the 3 gems that you sitting down and telling the 2016 O'Neal Parker, waiting on that manager to tell him the wrong thing before he flip the tables over and walk out?
I say when I first started, I should have built more relationships to use more private money because I didn't really start using it until after I quit.
Okay.
If I would have started using that faster, I could have scaled faster. I probably would have went to more events like this Cause I don't think my first real estate event was 2019.
Oh,
And I
you
started
3 years in the business, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
I was only doing meetups. I should have started meeting other people out of state. And then probably the third thing is probably buy more houses. Yeah, cause I was doing a lot of things at once. I was fixing and flipping, buying houses, and wholesaling all at the same time. If I'd have been focused maybe on one or two, I probably could have been further. But I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being this deep in the business now, for the people that's aspiring to be wholesalers or aspiring to hire an acquisitions person, what's I would say about two things that you say that makes a successful acquisition person? Because you've been on the phone as a cold caller, as an acquisition person. What's the top two things that makes a good acquisition person to get the deals in to have a real estate machine run?
First, you got to figure out why they want to work for you. And we always ask our people, like, what's your goals in your life? What you want to do? If you figure out what their goals is, and then you're going to see if they fit for your company.
Yeah.
Like, I ask our people, like, for I think last year, we let some people go. We asked them their personal goals, like they wanted houses, cars, and all that. After the year passed, everybody that worked for us owned their own house. So if I know if you got goals like that, you have a family, you have to work to feed your family. If you actually have goals to buy houses, you want your kids in the best schools, you have to work towards it. So if you telling me all that, that's telling me that you hungry.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really hire people that's single, because if you're single, you have no reason to work.
Yeah.
So most people that we hire have kids, have family, and things like that. But we always want to see, like, how you as a person, what's your personal goals. That's like our main thing.
That's number one.
Yeah.
What's the next thing?
If you fit the culture, if you're coachable, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, I don't really want you.
Yeah.
Because that means you're not looking to grow.
And what type of culture are y'all beating into the team that you build right now?
Like,
what's
dogs,
the all-star?
man. We need some
all-star-
dogs. So I always ask them. So let's just say, if you're working from 10 to 6. Let's just say a seller said, hey, if you can call me at 9:30, what you going to do?
This is an interview question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people be like, I just call them the next day. And then we got some people say, well, I'm going to get on the phone at 9:30. We're going to make it happen.
Right.
Then I ask them, what's your experience on the phone? They may say, I'm good at the phone. Okay, you good? Well, let's do a role play right now. I want to see if you're able to take action. Most people say, right now not a good time. Or some people say, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, you telling me that you're ready to work. If you got to comb your hair, you got to go in the bathroom before you talk on the phone, you're not ready to work. I need dogs to work for me.
Yeah.
I'm not here to just pay people for no reason. I want people to be dogs. I want people to have goals. I want people to have dreams. I want people to reach all the goals that they have for themselves and for the company.
Yeah.
If you can't reach your goals for yourself, you can't reach the goals for the company. And that's the things we look for.
I like it, bro. So what makes, in your opinion, what makes a good wholesaler?
Somebody
had to list-
somebody that really understands the market and know the numbers. Most wholesalers don't understand numbers.
What you mean?
Let me ask you this. How many times you got a wholesale deal that did not make sense in no type of way?
A lot.
They don't take the time to educate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to educate yourself in the market before you even send out a deal.
That's step one. So make sure you educate yourself
Heavy.
in your market.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you got to know what you're doing. Like, don't be scared. Educate yourself. Nobody want to spend money on a course. Nobody want to spend money. Let's just say I charge $1,000 to talk to me. Nobody want to spend that.
Right.
But if you really want to take the game serious, you got to spend money. You got to pay to play. Sometimes you got to pay for friends.
Yeah.
You got to pay for relationships. So if you're really trying to make money in the business, take it serious.
Yeah.
Invest your money.
And the reason why I ask, because we have aspiring wholesalers, we have current wholesalers, but we also have people that build businesses and they need to hire acquisition manager, which an acquisition manager is, a wholesaler that's being, pretty much paid. So that's step one. You got to educate yourself, understand the market. So I want to be an all-star wholesaler. What's next?
Don't hire the first person. Don't hire somebody if you don't know what you're doing.
No, if I want to be a wholesaler, so I need to educate myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what do I need to be?
Or if you trying to be a wholesaler.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I need to educate myself.
Right.
What do I need to do next to make sure?
Do the work. So let's just say you don't need a lot of money to get in this business, but you got to have the mindset to get in this business. It's not going to be easy. They say on the internet it's easy. It's an easy model, but it take a lot of work.
I like that.
You got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make no money if you don't have the right mindset. Like for me, when I first started, the only reason I was successful as I was because I was 100% dedicated to my business. I sacrificed. I wasn't going to no clubs, wasn't going to no parties. I wasn't talking to my friends for 2 years because I knew that's what I wanted to do. I was extremely focused on what I wanted to do. I was working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
I was still making money in my wholesaling business. I was making more money in wholesaling than I was my full-time job. You know, my family had to sacrifice. So you got to be serious. I know you see a lot of wholesalers come in, they never make it.
Yeah.
Because they're not serious. Their mindset not in the right direction. Their mindset not in the right space. That's why most people don't make it. So the number one thing is mindset. If your mindset not right, you're never gonna make it.
And how you define that? We're gonna take questions in a little while, Steve. So define mindset, and then we're gonna take one more step before we take audience question.
So mindset comes. You got to look at it like it's kind of. I don't know. It's a lot of different things, but what have you accomplished in life? What are you doing in your free time? What do you do for fun?
Yeah.
Have you ever read a book? Or you want to be successful, but you steady going out, you going to eat, you spending money for no reason, you buying clothes, expensive clothes. I'm talking about a $300 shirt. You're not ready.
Yeah.
Like I could check somebody's Instagram and let them and just see they're not ready to get in real estate. So you just got to see all the money that you have. You got to invest in yourself. If you can do that, you can make money in this business.
Good stuff. So I need to educate myself, make sure I have the right mindset. What's the last thing if you had to give your top
be consistent.
3?
Learn how to be consistent. Be consistent. Business is just like working out. If you don't go multiple times a week, you're never gonna build a muscle.
Right.
If you don't do your business, you're not gonna make no money.
Yeah.
So sacrifice that time and stay focused on your business and remember why you started.
Yeah.
And invest money back into your business. Don't just spend it all.
Yeah. One last question. Since you said that, with being an entrepreneur, you get pulled in so many directions
All day.
at the start of the day. As soon as your phone ring, how do you maintain consistency when you got so much pulling at you in a day?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, bro. That's why I'm asking.
I just make it happen, man.
Okay.
I don't have no secret
good
sauce
enough.
for it. Yeah. I wake up at 5, go to the gym, phone start ringing about 7, and just make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't have no secret formula for it.
Okay.
You got something you want to tell
I
me?
do not. That's why I asked.
Nah.
That's why I asked.
Nah, phone ring all day, man. I'll be on the phone sometime 10 o'clock at night.
Yep. That's it.
It's just part of the business, man.
All right. Good stuff. Audience questions. Just raise your hand. We'll point to you. Yep.
That's a good question. Took a loss. I'd say probably 2019. 2019. So for me, 2019, I like to have everything on auto draft. Lost my credit cards. Lost my wallet. Got 3 missed payments on my credit. Credit dropped. Went from 720 to like 590. That's the biggest adversity ever because I'm leveraging my credit to buy houses. So I got to figure out how could I continue to do this business without my credit. That's when I had to learn creative finance. Well, I was doing creative finance before. That's why I had to rely heavy on creative financing. I had to rely heavy on partners. I had to learn how to do partners. Like a lot of people have terrible credit. You can still get in real estate. You got to figure out who you can find to partner with you. And on the operating agreement, just do 80-20. The person with the better credit got 80%. The other person got 20%. So that was my biggest adversity, my credit, in 2019.
Good question. Next question. Yep.
With your text messages, like your text blast, what's a typical, I know it varies depending on the property. Give me an idea of maybe a typical text blast you would send out. What's the property you got the product about? I'm just kind of curious.
Got you. So for text blast, you always want to use female names because females get more responses than men. So you want to use like Heather, Molly, Amy. You always want to use love, like husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. You always want to be a smaller company, not a bigger company. So you could be like, hey, Tom, my wife and I saw this property last weekend. We were just calling to see if you'd be interested in selling this property. So you gotta have a software or a CRM. Like we use Taskify. If you put a list, or if you're driving for dollars, you gotta make your own list, and you'd have to insert it yourself. But if you pull a list, it'll do all that for you.
Well,
Daniel, it's more of a topic for you than a question, but I know you run a construction company as well. Just haven't spoken about that. Just want to just tell us a bit about how that fits into everything.
Yeah. So I got a few different businesses, but started a construction company actually after I quit my job. Well, I think 30 days after I quit my job, I started a construction company. Within 45 days of opening that, we made over 6 figures. So I made my whole salary within 2 months of quitting my job. But the reason why I started a construction company was because hurricane hit at that time. I had 8 roof claims, and my insurance company only gave me $13,000. So I was like, it's gonna cost a lot of money to fix, so I gotta figure out how I can do it myself and make it happen. So, and I also thought a lot of other people are having the same issue. So why don't I start a construction company and charge people less than everybody else? Because of course, in hurricane season, all the construction companies raise prices on everything. So I just charge a decent price, and I got a lot of business. Because I'm not here to rob people.
that's how it took off.
Harris.
What's going on?
What's your formula for buying a wholesale deal and who you marketing
So what's my formula to getting a wholesale deal on the contract?
to? Like your percentage, like you do like 65 ARV minus repairs minus your fee.
It really depends because every market different. Like you don't really want to use that 65% in a different market. Like let's just say I'm gonna give you a market like let me give you an example. I don't know what market to use, but that 65, yeah, New Orleans. Not everybody gonna use 65%. It really depends on the investor. Who is the investor that you're servicing? So, and you also got to realize what kind of property is it, a flip or is a rental? Because not everybody is going to do refinances at 80% right now. You got to know the market that we're in. A lot of people went down to 70, 75%. So you might have to be lower than that. And everybody's not buying like they was. So for us, I like to be around 50, 55. Like my rentals, flips, everything, I'm all in 50, 55%. So you just got to run your numbers harder and make better offers and be confident with your offers. And then you'll make more money. Who I market to? What you mean? My lead source to, we do absentee vacant. But we do a lot of different lists. All lists the same, it's just how you work the list. You got to hit it multiple times. Yes, sir.
Next question. Well, clap it up for O'Neal Parker. We want to thank you for coming out, bro.
Appreciate it.